At this very moment, under Florida's scorching sun, a massive project is taking shape, the new football stadium of the University of South Florida. But this is no ordinary stadium. It's the long-awaited promise that, after decades of wandering, the Bulls will finally have a true home of their own, with open terraces, vast fan zones, and Florida's longest rooftop bar. This structure is set to redefine college football as we know it. Yet behind the dazzling renderings lies a storm, broken partnerships, a soaring budget, and construction challenges in one of America's most unpredictable regions. As the deadline approaches and costs continue to climb, one question remains: will this mark USF's greatest triumph or its most expensive gamble? The time has come to step inside Florida's most ambitious project, the one destined to turn a generations-old dream into reality. Since its founding, USF's football program has never truly had a home. For years, the University of South Florida Bulls played their games at Raymond James Stadium, 12 miles from campus, sharing it with the NFL's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was a practical arrangement, but one that left the team without a real identity of its own. That distance, both physical and emotional, sparked a long-held dream to bring football to campus. The idea of an on-campus stadium has been floating around USF for decades. As early as the 2000s, university leaders explored it as a way to strengthen campus spirit, attract recruits, and give students a sense of belonging. But it remained just a dream, until new leadership revived it in the 2020s with a bold plan to finally make it real. The vision was bold: a 35,000-seat stadium that would do more than host football games. It would become a year-round gathering place, a landmark for graduations, concerts, and community events, and a centerpiece for student life. The goal was to weave the stadium into the very fabric of campus life, creating a space that symbolized unity, pride, and tradition. By mid-2023, USF's Board of Trustees gave the green light to move forward. After detailed feasibility studies, the Sycamore Field site was chosen, an area already home to athletic facilities, easily accessible, and well-connected to campus infrastructure. Its location wasn't just practical, it carried emotional weight too, sitting at the heart of USF's athletic history.
Historically fitting because that's where the birth of our program actually was, where our very first practices were for many, many years.
Architectural and design planning was initially led by Populous, the global firm known for Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas and Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Their concept combined modern aesthetics with open spaces that encourage movement and social gathering. Barton Malo joined as the original design-build contractor, bringing experience from major collegiate and professional stadiums. Architects and planners refined the design, emphasizing open concourses, shaded seating, and a dedicated student section with its own entrances and gathering zones. Early renderings showcased a sleek, modern stadium with integrated landscaping, multi-purpose lawns, and rooftop spaces designed to capture Florida's skyline. The design team also planned for the future. The structure would be flexible enough to expand beyond 35,000 seats in later phases, ensuring it could grow with the program's ambitions. Every choice, from the layout to the orientation, was meant to balance aesthetics, comfort, and practicality. But as the blueprints evolved, so did the challenges. The project had to balance bold design with logistical realities, like heat, storms, and the need for sustainable infrastructure, all while staying true to the original mission to give the Bulls a true home. And that's where the story shifts, from plans and promises to the monumental task of turning vision into structure. The first shovel hit the ground in November 2024. It was a symbolic moment, years of talk finally turning into action. University leaders, alumni, and students gathered at Sycamore Fields to mark what they called the start of a new era for USF. Golden helmets glistened in the Florida sun, banners waved, and behind the stage, the renderings of a 35,000-seat stadium loomed like a promise finally within reach. But that day was largely ceremonial. The real work was still months away. the project had already faced its first major turning point. The university had ended its partnership with Barton Malow and Populous in 2024 after major scheduling and supply chain issues threatened to derail the timeline. The firm's delivery model couldn't guarantee on-time construction under volatile material costs and delayed shipments. Rather than risk missing the 2027 opening, USF pulled the plug and restructured the project under a new construction management model. Populous continued to advise on design elements, but Barton Malow's role as design builder ended. In their place came Manhattan Construction, H.J. Russell & Company, and Ducon LLC, a trio with a proven record of large sports and institutional builds. Their new approach emphasized tighter oversight and flexibility, multiple bid packages, phased work schedules, and more direct control over subcontractors and material sourcing. With that change, the project gained renewed momentum. By early 2025, USF officially revised the project plan, significantly increasing the budget. The expansion wasn't just about inflation. It allowed for improved locker rooms, academic spaces, and stronger infrastructure for future growth. The real groundwork began shortly after the contract shift. Excavators rolled into Sycamore Fields, clearing the site and reshaping the old athletic grounds to make way for the stadium's massive footprint. Crews graded the terrain, rerouted underground utilities, and began installing stormwater retention systems to protect the area from Florida's heavy rains. Engineers worked closely with campus planners to align new access roads, pedestrian routes, and service lanes that would eventually connect the stadium to the rest of the university. Throughout 2025, the focus remained below the surface. Surveyors mapped the soil conditions in detail, while crews prepared the deep foundation system that will support the structure. Florida's ground is dense, yet moisture sensitive, so the design called for reinforced pilings, subsurface drainage, and advanced waterproofing to ensure stability through decades of storms. By the end of 2025, the invisible infrastructure that every great build depends on will be complete. Next comes the visible transformation, the rise of the 5-tier structure, from the field level and main concourse to the club, suite, and press levels above. Each tier has been designed with scalability in mind, so future generations can expand the stadium without replacing its core. The field will stretch east to west to reduce glare, and the southern stands will include shaded canopies to keep fans comfortable under Florida's sun. But perhaps the greatest challenge isn't structural, it's environmental. Florida's unpredictable storms demand constant weatherproofing. The crew works under tents using corrosion-resistant materials and implements advanced drainage along the concourse edges. The open-air design helps airflow and cooling, but requires careful coordination to prevent wind shear on the superstructure. Inside, attention will turn to what will make this stadium more than just concrete and steel. The West End Zone, dedicated to students, is planned to hold more than 8,000 fans, with its own concessions, restrooms, and a raised platform for a DJ deck and light installations surrounding a glowing Bull U emblem. The stadium's main concourse is designed to stay open on all sides, allowing fans to move freely without losing sight of the field. On the north side, a landscape fan plaza will become a natural gathering space for tailgating and pre-game events. For the premium crowd, the design team carved out luxury suites, club seating, and loge boxes with glass fronts that bring fans almost field level. Above them, a rooftop patio will stretch across the press box and feature what USF calls Florida's longest rooftop bar, a lounge-like space overlooking the skyline and the heart of the campus. USF has confirmed the inclusion of state-of-the-art LED video boards, ribbon displays, and a modern audio system that will rival the technology in many professional stadiums. These systems are expected to tie into mobile apps offering replays, in-seat service, and interactive features for fans. When the season finally kicks off in 2027, this won't just be another college football stadium. It will be the physical proof of a dream that survived redesigns, delays, and doubts, and rose anyway. And yet, as the groundwork nears completion and the price tag keeps rising, one question still hangs in the air. When the University of South Florida Bulls finally take the field, will the payoff match the promise? As the groundwork wraps up and preparations for vertical construction begin, the money behind the project comes into focus. The stadium's total budget now stands at $348.5 million, up from the original $340 million approved in 2023. It is not funded by a single source, but through a mix of loans, donations, and student fees. USF's Board of Trustees approved up to $200 million in bonds. Essentially, long-term loans the university will repay using future revenue from ticket sales, premium seating, naming rights, and events. The rest of the cost will come from private gifts and university reserves already set aside for major construction projects. It's a careful balancing act meant to keep the stadium financially sustainable without relying too heavily on taxpayers. From the start, the stadium has been both a source of pride and debate. Supporters call it a once-in-a-generation investment that will finally give USF the home field identity it's lacked for decades. Critics, meanwhile, have questioned the timing and scale, voicing concern that such a massive financial commitment could strain academic budgets and add pressure to already rising student fees. Yet, despite the debates, the excitement is undeniable. Every update, every new rendering, sends a ripple of energy through the student body and alumni base. The promise of walking from dorms to a Saturday kickoff, of hearing the band echo across campus instead of across town, feels like a long overdue reward for years of waiting. Financially, the university expects the stadium to generate significant long-term revenue through ticket sales, premium seating, concerts, and rental events. The location on campus also reduces annual rental costs paid to Raymond James Stadium, where the Bulls currently play. Over time, those savings and earnings are projected to support the stadium's debt and maintenance, making it a self-sustaining asset. As the clock ticks toward the 2027 opening, the dream that once lived on paper is now becoming real. Whether it will ultimately become a financial model for other universities or a cautionary tale about ambition and scale remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: when the first whistle blows in this new arena, it won't just mark the start of a football game. It will mark the moment USF finally comes home. Ready to be amazed by the next groundbreaking construction project? Click on the video now and dive into a world where engineering and imagination collide. See you there.